All right, up next, Arthurnal Animator _getup.mov. Turn the audio up for the first watch. Let's go. Ciao.
Oops.
I love it.
Yeah. It's got a lot of character.
Mm-hmm.
I love that little fall at the end. It's like it didn't need to happen, but it's like it just adds so much character.
I love that. I thought it
Yeah.
was so good. And he just falls off the skateboard.
And also, like, beautiful presentation, really simple background. There's not props, just like that one ground plane for the speed lines. Feels good.
Yeah. One thing I would say about that though is one of my small feedback notes is that I kind of lose where he's going. Once he gets into the air again, there's no frame of reference, and then he slashes down towards the camera, and then he falls from the sky again. I just kind of get lost there a little. Like I feel like there could have been some, I don't know, something for more context so I know what's happening. Let me scrub. Like he does all this. This is all cool. Then he goes down past the camera to this. I think he's going down to the floor, but then there's no reference here to know where he's gone. And then he comes from the top. So it's like.
Do pause it before you scrub though, because it's giving everyone a seizure.
Oh really?
Oh, yeah. I don't know what's happening. I agree with you, but it's not doing that to me. But
it's not doing that to me either.
Is it not? What's going on?
Try like exit out of the tab and then just reopen it. It did that to me earlier and it was freaking out.
So yeah, maybe just having something.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he kind of like he's going along and then you lose where he is, and then he's like, oh, now he's there, and now he's back on the ground. But yeah, it's just a small thing. If you'd have had like some kind of something in the background, even just a plain background, like a 2D background, you'd been able to see exactly where he was.
Or at least feel the camera moving in some way.
Yeah, I think it's when you just like go to this kind of shot, it's like, what's happening now? There's nothing on screen. And then all of a sudden he's coming from a different direction to what I expected him to be going. But yeah, I mean, small note.
I think it's so cool. Just at the end, really quick, my thought on this one. I'm just going to try pick one thing just so we can be quick on this. I think the timing of this fall just feels a little bit soft. Maybe it could have been like you could have arched the spine a little bit. White's not a good color. Do that. You're like maybe this way, so he's more like and the arms are more flailing, so you have like more of this shape. And then you can have a faster down here, so it's more of a plonk, and then you can speed it up a bit, so the timing's not as sort of flat on the fall, because if you look at the spacing, it's kind of he doesn't accelerate on the down. It's just very linear, the timing of the fall there. So you could have maybe punched up the sort of timing of that fall by having a bigger pose up here and then faster down into that pose down there. So maybe that's something you could have done. And I think it would have made it more slapstick, a little bit more funny if the timing was kind of like that. But very nitpicky overall, really, really awesome.
Yeah, the current one's kind of a bit more realistic. Yeah, agreed.
I love similar to like the Skelly boy with the visor earlier. Like all of this is kind of like very physical and badass. You're like, oh, Roboface. Like, how do we get personality in this character? But the way that he jumps up out of this fall, like, like shows who that character is personality wise, in like just a glimpse. But it's not like the choice to make them like slightly like not even clumsy, just like they miss this trick is, and then like right back up. Like there's an eagerness to it that I feel like makes this character like very appealing.
Yeah, it kind of has that. It kind of has that like young Spider-Man vibe where he's like he wants to prove that he's still like he's like I'm fine, I'm good, we got this.
Yeah, we're back. This is fine.
It makes me chuckle every time I see him fall down.
It's such a clumsy fall. It's like not even just a natural like you can do falls, but this just feels really clumsy, like something you would actually do, you know?
Yeah, he really cranks his head down there, man.
Yeah, a little shuffle at the end when he's just like scrambling to get up. It's like it's really nice.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I love how he's done all this awesome, cool shit, and we're just like the fall though.
The fall is the best.
So the one thing I'll say about this part is you're doing these kind of smear things, and they're off the edges of the weapons. But because they're so thick, the first time I watched it, I thought he had two sides.
Mm-hmm.
I think changing the transparency a little for specifically this spin moment when there's like two of them right around him. And maybe even, I'm trying to understand how that smear is actually working there. It looks like it's kind
Is
of
it leading?
detached and hanging back from where he's actually swiping from. Interesting. But like through here, something like a little less opaque, and like a little bit wider to the shape of the sword, I think would help it read less as like a literal piece of the weapon. I think the level of opaqueness makes it challenging to read through there. All right.
There's one little spacing issue too, right there. He's zooming towards the camera in there, and then boom, backwards, 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 and then forwards again. I keep seeing it as a little bit jarring as he comes in.
Mm. All right. Any final thoughts?
It's super cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
I think it's a good example of like adding those character moments, because all we've talked about is the fall, how good that is. Whereas that didn't need to be there, but it just makes it like it pluses it by a lot, because now we're like, oh yeah, add so much character. He could have just like jumped off his skateboard, done a cool thing, and landed in a pose, and maybe it wouldn't have been half as good. It's those small moments, like falls, that make it adds a lot of character and makes it memorable.
Yeah. Yeah, what like even if the whole piece was him like, oh, I'm so awesome on the skateboard, and then it kind of just went straight to here, I feel like I would have liked it as much as maybe not quite as much, but it's very awesome.
Yeah, like it's all done well. I just mean the fall adds a lot to it.
Right. All right, moving along. Well, first of all, Arthurnal Animator _ get up. I assume that's not your name, but that is the file name. That's all I have to work with. Thank you so much for your awesome work. Thank you for submitting. It's amazing.